Hey there, Shalini Mittal here from Tech Gatha, and in this video we will see an example using nested if fields. To understand about if fields or nested if fields, I have covered in the previous videos. The link for the same is provided in the description for you all to refer. Now the example that we are going to take is, suppose you are responsible to create an application for an insurance company. The conditions are, if the person is married, he or she is insured. If it's unmarried, then we have to check the gender. If female and age is greater than equal to 25, insured. Male and age greater than equal to 30, insured. Otherwise, if none of the conditions met, the person is uninsured. Okay. Now say for example you want to write a program for the same. So we'll start. We'll take an input. So then we are going to have the input as marital status. We'll also take the input gender. We'll also take the input age. Okay. Then I'll check the marital status. Okay. If the marital status, so remember the relational operators, I'll say if the person is married. Okay. If this is true, then we just have to print insured and our program will stop. Okay. But if the marital status is not married, means this condition is false, then what was the scenario? We have to check for the gender, right? If you remember, we have to check for the gender. So then I'll say gender. Okay. If gender is equal to male, if it is male, if this is true, then again what I'll do, I'll check for the age. So I'll say again age greater than equal to 30. If this is true, I'll say print insured. Okay. If this is false, we'll print not insured and we'll stop. Okay. So we handled this for true and false. We handled this for false, false, true. Now if this one is false, if gender is not male, that means we know that gender is female. Okay, there are only two gender that we are talking about right now. So male or female. If it's not male, it's female. Then I'll check for the age greater than equal to 25. If this is true, the control goes to 1, print insured and it stops. If this is false, it will print not insured and it will stop. So let's try to implement the same. We'll keep this for our reference. So I'll just move this a bit to the left so that we can have our diagram as well. Okay. So now we need to start the program by taking the input, the marital status. So I am saying enter M if married or enter U if unmarried, and we need to take two more input. So I'll say gender. So I can say enter male if male. I understand it's and I'll say enter female if female. Okay. And then we'll need age. Age is going to be an integer and we'll say enter your age. Okay. Now the first condition is, after we take the input, the first condition is to check the marital status. So I'll say if marital is equals to, I am expecting the input as M. Okay, if it is M, then we just print insured. Okay, so if the person is married, we say print insured. Else, if the person is not married, if it's false, I go in else. What do? I check for the gender. So I'll say if gender equal to male, right? If this is true, we will be saying no. If this is true, then we have to take the age, right? So I'll say if age greater than equal to 30, then I will be saying print insured. Okay, else I'll say print not insured. Same, I will be writing the code. So I'll say no. See, for this if I've handled the false clause. Now I go inside the else, I say if gender is male, I checked for the age. If it's valid, I say insured, else not insured, right? Now we have to handle the false for this if. If it's not male, if it's definitely female, that's what we've assumed right now. So then I'll say else, because now the gender is female. I just have to check for the age. If age is greater than equal to 25, then I'll say print insured, else I'll say print not insured, right? So then let's save it. So now you can see if married, print insured and stop. Else, for the false clause, check the gender. If true, check the age. If true, print insured. Not, print not insured, stop. Again for the gender, if it's not male, if it's female. So false, right? So if the gender is not male, I go in else. I check for the age. Yes, I print one, that is insured. Else, I print not insured. So let me erase this flow chart. This was just for a reference. And let's run. So I enter M, I enter male, I enter age. It says insured because I am married. I run again. Okay. I say unmarried, I say male, I say age. Okay, you can see again it's insured because if I am male, age is yes, this is true, it says insured. I enter unmarried, I say male and 25. So you can see it's not insured because yes, I am male, I am not married, but my age is 25. So this is how you can write a nested if else. We can also make it shorter. So the way you can do that is see. I'll just write this again for a reference. Okay, and let me comment these out so I can even show you executing it. See, I want to check for the marital status. Done. Then I just want to check for the gender. So I can do this. If gender is this, and I can use logical operators and I can say and age is this, I'll print insured. I don't need this one. Okay. Then you will see the code becomes so short. Then again this is a condition. So I'll again say if, okay, if it's gender. So now I'll have to write this again. If gender is female and age is true, I'll say print insured, else for all other conditions it's false. Done. Just simple. If I run it again, sorry, it's AND. Okay, now if I run, see, I say M married, I'm insured because it's not checking the gender, because if I'm married, I'm anyways insured. Okay, if I run it again, I say unmarried, I say female. Okay, I've spelled it wrong, so it won't work. Let me run it again. I say unmarried, I say female, I enter my age. So you can see not insured because I am female, but this condition is false. I've used AND operator, it prints not insured, because this is not true. So you can even make, so I would suggest initially it's okay if you're writing long statements. Slowly you will understand and you will be able to write the shorter syntax using the logical operators. Now there are two more assignments for you all to solve. Read the questions carefully, solve the assignment and paste your solution in the comment section below. So the assignment goes this way. So the first assignment is you have to take an year as input and find if it is a leap year or not. So a year is a year if it is evenly divisible by 100. If it is divisible by 100, then it should also be divisible by 400. Okay. Otherwise, all other years evenly divisible by 4 are leap years. What do I mean by this is, see, if I say, for example, 1900, okay, now divisible by 4, yes, divisible by 100, yes, divisible by 400, no, it's not a leap year, okay. 2000, divisible by 4, yes, 100, yes, 400, yes, it's a leap year. 1996, divisible by 4, yes, by 100, no, hence of course not by 400. If it's not divisible by 100, I don't have to check for 400. If it's divisible by 4, it's a leap year. For any other year, if you try, say 1993, not divisible by 4, no need to check for these as well, it's not a leap year. So a few examples for you to try it out. You can even check online whether 1900, so every 400th year is not a leap year, okay. So you can check those as well and write the solution and ping in the comment section below. Next is again simple. It just asks you to take 3 angles as input from the user and check if a triangle can be formed or not. If a triangle can be formed, print triangle can be formed and also print what type of triangle it is, equilateral, isosceles or scalene. Otherwise, just print a message, a triangle cannot be formed. So for example, I enter the values as 60, 60, 60. Sum is 180. Yes. All the angles are equal. Yes, it's an equilateral triangle. Okay. If I take angles as 60, 60, 50. Sum is not equal to 180. A triangle cannot be formed. If I take the values as 70, 70 and 40. Okay, is it equal to 180? Yes. Two angles are equal, not all the three. It's an isosceles triangle. If I take the values as 60, 80, 40. Sum is 180. Yes. All the angles are equal. Yes. It's a scalene triangle. So go ahead and try both of the programs and give your solutions in the comment section below. I'll definitely check those solutions, and if any issues or any problems, any errors, I'll definitely provide you with the correct solution. So thanks so much for watching this video. We'll see random module in Python in the next video because we are going to use random for creating our small game, that is 7 up 7 down. Till then, happy learning, take care and bye bye.